All right, Michelle, this is a pretty exciting day, and I hope you don't mind if I take the lead on making a very big announcement.
Sure.
So, guys, it's 2021. Everybody's looking for a fresh start. There's so much, baggage from the last year and everything like that. So, Michelle and I have decided to move to Antarctica.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
You forgot? I thought this is
Mm,
a very exciting change.
yeah, it's really exciting.
So we can't just move to Antarctica because there's no housing or infrastructure or economy, but we can get a job there. And then you can not most based on what I said, I would have to say all jobs in Antarctica provide housing and board, considering that otherwise the other option is like death. It's like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we have a real turnover here because people just they finish their workday and then they leave and then they never come back. They're dead. So um I wanted to tell everybody because I figured they would probably be excited to know. I don't know how that's going to affect the podcast because number one, we have to work 10 hours a day, most likely in kitchen work, because that's the only thing that we're qualified for that they need in Antarctica. Because literally, it's nothing but like marshals and scientists, and then people who keep the scientists alive. And that's that's pretty much what Antarctica is full of.
Why don't they just feed themselves? Like,
Because they're doing science all day.
I feed myself, and I do science all day.
I don't know that you do science all day, for the
Okay.
record. Okay. No, but it's I guess it's a fringe benefit for the
Mm.
scientists that they get their meals prepared. Not all of them. I mean, you can eat ramen noodles and stuff while you're there. It's just that they have cooking, and often they're run in tandem with some kind of military setup or naval setup, although not literally military or naval. So I thought to celebrate our big decision. And what I was saying is I don't know how it's going to affect the show because on one hand, it'll be very easy to record the show because when we're not working in the kitchen and staying just warm enough to not be dead, we will be in close proximity. We could do podcasts all the time. We'd really only need one microphone because honestly, we'd probably appreciate the shared body heat. And and you don't have to worry about COVID-19 because there is no bacteria. Like single cell organisms can't survive in Antarctica.
Yeah, but they could survive inside the places.
Yeah, but not really.
Yeah, but they could.
But
I
not
mean,
really.
okay.
I mean, do you want me to Google is there COVID
Yeah.
in oh my god, it auto-filled that.
Yeah,
Why
because
did
you
that
keep looking up
autofill?
Antarctica stuff.
Okay, Michelle. Antarctica reports first COVID-19 infection in December 24th, 2020.
See. Now what are we gonna do?
I mean, that's pretty good though. I mean, how hard would it be to vaccinate the like 5,000 people that are
You
there?
can't even vaccinate 5,000 people in my county. I don't. I don't
That's because
know.
the people in your county are too cocky.
Oh, yeah.
So but I know you showed some little trepidations at first to the idea of moving to Antarctica, but your problem was not the potential we would be there for the winter, which is night for 6 months. You were more afraid of day for 6 months.
I don't want. Please, I don't want that. It
Why
sounds
did
so
what's
bad.
wrong with day for 6 months?
Because I'll never feel like it's okay to sleep because I don't sleep when it's dark. I mean, like, I don't sleep when it's light. I only sleep when it's dark. So
But indoors they can block the sunlight out so that you
it
can feel like it's nighttime.
that's what my mom said, and I will still know. I'll still know.
You actually talked to your mom about our Antarctic plans?
Yeah.
I I'm telling you, you would be able to sleep at night if you just got away from the sunlight. And it's much easier to get away from the sunlight than to have fake sunlight.
Okay. I mean, I still think you're wrong. I
So
still think
so
you're
why
wrong.
how would so night would be better, but then when would you know to wake up? since there's never
When
any sun.
when my alarm goes off, like I always do. I wake up and it's dark now.
Yeah,
Like
but then it gets light out eventually.
yeah, but I don't even know because I go inside. So
With windows.
no, there's no windows.
There
It's
are
a
windows.
supermarket. I
There are
can't find.
absolutely windows at supermarkets.
It depends on the supermarket.
I mean, if you're shopping at Stan's Windowless Emporium, we don't call
No.
the cops. That's all it
No.
says under the.
No, like next time you're in a supermarket, look around. There really aren't windows.
There are just windows in the front of the supermarkets I
yeah,
go to.
but if I'm like not right over there in the front, there are no windows. I don't know what's going on outside. You know?
You just spend your days just wandering in the darkness, basically.
See, so it'll be exactly the same.
Well, on the plus side, they find that it is much harder to get people to commit to a winter in Antarctica because number one, it's much colder, which that alone is a startling statement. It's much colder, but basically you can't get out of Antarctica during the winter unless it's a serious emergency because it's very dangerous to get a pilot in there, and there's no chance of a boat, really. Plus, the places you actually stay in are nowhere near the shore; they're inland. So I'm just saying, I a lot of people don't want to. I think I read that it was less than 3,000 people are on the entire continent in the winter. But you have to go through a rigorous mental screening before they'll let you do, 12 months alone with, or 6 months alone with 12 people in a freezing cold box.
I think my bigger concern is just like they'll just be people and I'll see them. Like, because if it's like, do you just want to be alone for 6 months? I'd be like,
in the
maybe
dark
it'll
and
work.
cold.
Yeah, maybe it'll be okay. But if it's like, do you want to be in the dark and cold and you can't leave, but there's 12 people with you? I'd be like, I don't know, man. That sounds like a lot of work.
I mean, oh, fair enough. Well, here are some other perks to living in Antarctica that I looked up to share with you today. Let's see. Antarctica is the coldest place on our planet. So this says, by the way, here there is the coldest temperature ever recorded, which is negative 89.2 degrees Celsius. But you can simultaneously get sunburned because the ultraviolet light is reflected by all of the snow and ice.
Sure.
So I'm going to, what is that in Fahrenheit? I'm going to ask my phone. What is 89.2 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? Wait, that can't be right.
It's probably right.
What is negative 89.2 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? It's slightly better. It's negative 128.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
I don't know how. Wow. Okay.
I mean, I think once you get to a certain temperature, it's just all bad. Like it just feels really bad.
Fair.
So does that feel worse than like negative 75 degrees Fahrenheit? I don't know. I mean, is it more dangerous? Sure. But does it feel different?
Sure. Okay. Another thing to keep in mind, frostbite is the first thing that you will get in extreme cold. So you have to be ready for this temperature before you step outside. Frostbite can be explained simply. Your body stops pumping blood to other parts of the body. The body tries to conserve warmth, which means no oxygen is reaching the parts of your body. Frostbite can be escaped by wearing appropriate clothing and not staying outside for too long or keeping moving to save warmth. Here's a dangerous fauna. One of the most dangerous representatives of the fauna is the leopard seal. It is one of the biggest animal dangers to humans. He grows 2.5 to 3.2 meters long and hunts on penguins. So
And
occasionally,
or
they're dangerous to humans. Often Arctic species and Antarctic species are dangerous to humans because of their desire to eat, regardless of potential consequence.
okay.
Crevasses. Crevasses are also a danger to humans. They can be less than a step wide to hundreds of meters across. Bridged crevasses is the most dangerous type of crevasse. Crevasses are covered by last year's snowfall, which renders them invisible. One of the ways to avoid
Hmm.
glaciers is to have a dog team.
Or you could get a stick and you just put the stick
Uh,
in front of you and
and then
see
the
if he
stick would just
falls.
freeze and break, and you'd be like, damn it.
Yeah.
I should have gotten something that wasn't literally a stick from the ground. Also, there are no sticks in Antarctica, so I had to
Well,
bring this from home.
yeah, exactly.
Um, and then of course there's the seas, because between Hobart and Antarctica lie the world's stormiest waters and very strong winds. Winds are chilling and combined with frosty water to create extremely hard conditions, and give extreme seasickness to some.
In the sea that's like where it's like off of like Alaska and stuff, in the winter it gets big ice chunks in it
Yeah.
and it like gets all frozen. Does it do that there too?
There are big ice chunks, but they don't float around as much because they're frozen to the land mass known as Antarctica.
Like they don't just come at your boat because that's what they do in
It's not
the
been
Bering
referenced as
Sea?
one of the major dangers of
Okay.
crossing that part of the ocean, as far as I've
Okay.
seen so far. So here we go. Now, here's a list of things that we're going to need. Like let's say we land at our new home in
Mm-hmm.
Antarctica. Here's a list of things we'll need. As far as clothing, first we'll need inner layers.
Mm-hmm.
We'll need a set base layer top of light or mid-weight clothing and bottoms, tops and bottoms. Then we'll need a set of expedition weight or power strip layer top and bottoms. And
Okay.
then we'll need underwear made of polyester or polypropylene.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's the inner layers.
Okay.
So that's
So
three
like when I go to
layers.
work.
Then for outer layers, you'll need a quality down jacket for expeditions with a large sized fixed hood,
Yeah.
synthetic or down pants,
Okay.
windproof soft shell jacket with hood. So that's a
Wow.
second hood,
You gotta have
jacket
a
with hood.
yeah.
Clothing for mid or second layer, so just more clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Stretch soft shell pants, so that's a third pair of pants.
Wow, that's
Uh,
a lot of pants.
wind wind coat, so that's a the fourth coat. Oh, and then insulating jacket, which is so there's about 5 coats.
Wait, do I have to put them all on at the same time? And if so, in what order? Because I got really confused.
That I read it in the order you're supposed to
That you
wear it.
put it on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Footwear, soft
Mhm.
boots usually made of sealskin for use around the camp. Pair of expedition double boots with built-in gaiter. That's for anything more than just walking around the camp.
Mhm.
Boots for ski and mountains. Warm socks made of wool. Socks made of cotton or synthetic. Uh, to to layer with wool socks, and then a pair or two of synthetic tent booties. I don't know what a tent booty is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
And then as far as head and hands, a
Mhm.
ski hat usually made of wool, and then a scarf or something around your neck. Then a synthetic polymer face mask that covers all of your skin.
Mhm.
Then insulated leather work gloves. Then thin polyester gloves. Then thick fleece gloves.
Okay.
Then very warm, breathable, or synthetic over mitts to go over those gloves.
Wow.
Then 100% UV protective sunglasses, one with cord and side flaps with no metal frames because it'll freeze.
Mhm.
And then over those sunglasses, you want good quality tinted 100% UV protective ski goggles. So you want two
Okay.
layers of
Okay.
100% UV protection.
Wow, on your eyes. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Yeah, and then as far as for sleeping, they recommend you have a sleeping bag rated for negative 40 degrees Celsius. This is when
Okay.
sleeping in a camp. So, because I know you like to camp,
Mhm.
uh,
In
a
the winter.
full a full length thermarest, which I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
I'm gonna find out. A thermarest. Oh, it's a sleeping pad that holds heat.
That's a good idea because you don't want your body heat to just escape into whatever you're laying on because then
Yeah,
you get
and you
really
don't want
cold
the
and
cold to
die.
get to you either from
Yeah.
the ground. And then a full length closed foam sleeping mat. So there's also a closed foam sleeping mat. So two sleeping mats basically,
Yeah.
and a negative 40 degrees Celsius sleeping bag.
I want
So
one of those. That sounds cozy.
so
Yeah.
that's not too bad.
Hmm.
I mean, really.
Not that part. No.
So I mean, yeah, I think it's doable,
Hmm.
but I but I'm worried they're going to make us go during the day.
I'm not coming if it's during the day. I'm sorry. I just can't.
What if I told you that I found a place in Antarctica that hasn't received rain or snow in 2 million years?
I would say why?
It's called an Antarctic oasis.
But then there's no snow there.
There's no snow.
So what's on the ground?
Rocks.
Cool. Let's go there.
I knew you would get excited when you found out it was rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says right here in Antarctica, around 1% of the continent, or 2,500 miles, is permanently ice free. Such areas are called dry valleys or Arctic oasis. They are
Mm.
thought to be the world's harshest deserts, and it is estimated that these areas haven't seen rain or snow in almost 2 million years.
What if you just bring water there and you drop it on stuff? What will happen?
I'm guessing it would probably freeze before it hit the ground.
Oh, but will it like destroy the ecosystem because you've put water there?
Maybe.
Okay. It's going to destroy the ecosystem.
Whoa, this is creepy. There is a waterfall in Antarctica which is called Blood Falls because it looks like there's blood pouring out
I
of it.
know about this. I know about
Oh,
this.
then tell us all about
Yay.
it.
Okay, so Blood Falls, they found it and they were like, "Oh no, why is it red?" And we didn't know for like ever. I think it was like the 80s or the 90s. No, it was like 10 or 20 years ago when they were like, "Oh, it's just got like iron in it. It's got some sort of metal and when it comes to the surface it oxidizes."
That makes
So,
sense.
yeah, but so it's like not a big deal at all. Like finally someone was like, "We're just going to figure out what this is." But I want to go see the red water.
Huh. Oh, and it says the reason it doesn't freeze is because it's 3 times saltier than seawater. So
Ooh.
it's too salty to freeze, much like me. Uh, uh, did you know more meteorites are found in Antarctica than anywhere else on Earth?
No, but now I don't want to go because they're gonna
What's wrong with
fall on me.
meteorites?
Because they're gonna fall on me
Well, most of them
out
have
of
been
the
there for
sky.
millions of years.
Huh.
I mean, it says according to scientists, meteorites land everywhere with almost equal probability. However, if they fell in a humid jungle climate, moisture and oxygen would corrode them. In
Okay.
Antarctica, where the climate is extremely dry, the likelihood of corrosion is almost non existent. In addition to this, naturally, the rocks are easier to spot on the white, icy surface of Antarctica.
Okay.
Lastly, sometimes the East Antarctic ice sheet path to the sea is clogged by mountains or other obstructions. If the sheet stays in one spot for a long time, strong winds and sunlight can evaporate the top layers and reveal much older ice and large meteorite concentrations within it.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
More than 20,000 samples of rocks from unknown sources have been collected since 1976.
Cool.
Ooh, 70% of the world's fresh water is in Antarctica. I know you like fresh water.
I do.
So then you can boil it to make tea.
Yeah.
The average ice sheet thickness in Antarctica is 1 mile.
Hmm.
I don't think that'll affect us, but it is interesting. Ooh, this is fun. See, you were complaining like, oh, my clock will be my rhythms will be all. Antarctica has no official time zone.
Yay! It can be my time zone.
So you can just whenever you want. It can be whatever time you want. This
Cool.
says, as Antarctica is mostly uninhabited, the continent is not officially divided into time zones. However, a number of existing research stations use either the time zone of the country that operates or supplies them, or
Mm-hmm.
use the local time of the countries located nearby. For
Mm, that makes
example,
sense.
McMurdo Station observes New Zealand Standard Time during Standard Time and New Zealand Daylight Time during the Daylight Savings Time period in New Zealand. Ugh,
Weird.
New Zealand has a daylight savings time? Poor bastards. I thought we were the only ones who got suckered into that bullshit.
I don't know.
Um, and then it says Palmer Station, an American research station, keeps Chile summertime, as Chile is the closest country to their station.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Whoa, the largest recorded iceberg was bigger than the whole island of Jamaica.
Wow,
That's big.
that's pretty big.
Let's see. The world's oldest sperm whale was found in Antarctica.
How old was it?
50 million
Like,
years old. He's fossilized. Yeah.
oh, okay. That's not as cool.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, there are 2 civilian towns in Antarctica now.
Oh,
Or at least that's what this thing says in the headline. It says the larger town out of the 2 that exist in Antarctica is Villa Las Estrellas, the Stars town, founded in 1984 by Pinochet. Of course it was by Pinochet. Why wouldn't it be Pinochet, who wanted to reaffirm Chile's presence in the region? Today, this town is a research station and has a school, hospital, hostel, post office, internet, and even TV and mobile phone coverage.
dude, let's go there.
Yeah, I didn't think that something like that existed. From what I'd read, it must be very small because it's probably the only one. Or well, one of the only ones. Let's see what the other one. It looks interesting. All the buildings are orange, so you can see them in a whiteout.
Whoa.
The other town is called Esperanza Base and serves as an Argentine research station. It houses 55 inhabitants in the winter, including 10 families and 2 school teachers. The town was
Wow.
established in 1953. It became widely known in 1978 due to the birth of Amelia Marcos Palma, the first person born in Antarctica.
Wow.
Well, so I like it's like there are 2 towns in Antarctica for you to choose from, and they inhabit roughly 120 people total.
Wow.
How, I wonder, and I know I could probably look it up, but it's not like we're doing a show about Antarctica, except we are. But it says that town was established in 1953.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't imagine how did they camp in Antarctica in 1953? They must have burned a lot of whale oil, that's just so long ago.
I don't know. I mean, everything like that you have to wear to survive there, you could have gotten in 1953.
I
There's
know, but
lots
I'm
and
so
lots of layers.
fascinated by like building a building and somehow keeping it hot enough to not die in Antarctica. It just fascinates me.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I've been interested in Antarctica is because I like snow stuff. And we have gotten a lot of snow over the last couple weeks, especially the last few days. And to celebrate being all snowy and cozy, I've been watching snow movies because that's like one of my favorite things to do. And I've been finding snow movies that are new to me. And I found a couple of them in Antarctica, which made me fascinated with Antarctica. So anyway.
Cool.
Okay, we're not going.
What?
It says sled dogs have been banned from Antarctica since 1994.
Oh, fuck that.
Back in 1911, sled dogs hauled supplies for Norwegian explorers led by Roald Amundsen. It was the first expedition to reach the South Pole. Afterwards, sled dogs were kept and used in Antarctica for years. However, they were banned from the continent in 1993 due to fear that they might transmit canine distemper to the Antarctic seals or would escape and disturb local wildlife.
Oh, wow.
Seals and dogs are very similar, so they could give each other illnesses. I think that the real answer is they saw the 1980s movie The Thing and were like, nah. But I just want you to think about that now. 1911, they were in Antarctica.
Yeah, because the guy found the red water and he was like, oh no.
But I mean, 1911, man. Like that's just so long ago to have an expedition and somehow not just everyone die.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just so
Well,
cold for the lack of technology they had then.
it yeah, but people just go places, you know? They've always been just going places.
No, you're not wrong. In fact, I read an entire thing um about how sailboats used to make it to Antarctica like before there were powered boats.
Wow.
It's terrifying. Uh so ooh, Mount Erebus is one of the few consistently active volcanoes on Earth.
That's not very comforting.
Mount Erebus is one of the few consistently active volcanoes and the southernmost active volcano on Earth. It contains 1,700 degrees Fahrenheit of lava lake that is
Hmm.
thought to be miles deep. Mount Erebus is always alive and bubbling, releasing gas and spitting out chunks of molten rock and feldspar crystals rich in potassium, sodium, and aluminum silicate.
Hmm.
Antarctica and the Arctic and just a few remote islands are the only places in the entire world that are not in any way colonized by ants.
Wow. That's awesome.
I'm surprised. Well, Antarctica, I don't know. I saw some pictures. It really does look terrifyingly dead there. Like, so when I was reading about Antarctica, I found out that, and I told you a little bit about this before, that some guy who works in Antarctica filmed a like slasher B movie in his camp with the 12 people he was staying with through the winter. Because I guess in the winter they work, but it's a lot less
Mm-hmm.
strenuous because you don't go outside very much. Um, and yeah, he shot a little B movie in Antarctica. It's the first fictional film to ever be shot on that continent.
That's
And
really
it's a
cool.
cheesy slasher movie. I haven't been able to watch it yet because I can't find a copy because Amazon took it down because they hate independent movies. So
Mm-hmm.
I haven't found a copy yet, but it's like a cheesy slasher movie shot with like the camcorders they used were the ones they used to film B-roll for like nature channels and stuff
Okay.
in Antarctica. They shot the movie on that. And they said it was really fun because after about 2 months in the camp, like no one was camera shy at all, according to the director. He said that like as soon as a month or two of like just being stuck in such close quarters together, like nobody had any shame, nobody had any embarrassment about being on camera. They were just like, cool, let's just pretend to be getting murdered. But they said that that one person almost quit the movie because the fake blood accidentally leaked into their boot and froze around their foot when
Whoa.
they only shot like 4 or 5 scenes outside because it's very cold apparently. So most of it was shot in the rooms of their camp. But yeah, they mentioned that the fake blood like got into the guy's boot and immediately it froze solid around his foot.
Wow.
uh oh wow, so Antarctica is 1.5 times the size of the United States.
Oh wow, it's big.
Yeah, I knew it was big, but that's really big. uh oh, and Antarctica is the only continent without reptiles or snakes.
Wow.
Technically, I mean, it barely has mammals, but you know, I don't want to, I don't want to quibble, but um, Antarctica. Oh, you're gonna love this. This is exciting. Antarctica has one ATM.
Oh wow.
The banking conglomerate Wells Fargo installed an ATM back in 1998 at the McMurdo Station, the largest science hub on the continent. While it is near the New Zealand territory, the ATM only dispenses US dollars. Of course, you'll have a hard time spending it because there's almost nowhere to spend money on Antarctica. I mean, of course, there's always poker games.
Hmm. Wasn't there that hostel in the one town?
Yeah, but there's no reference to if they accept money. But if they do, then that's one place in the entire continent. I mean, just imagine for a second that like there's one place that takes cash in all of Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even an accurate representation because that's so small
Yeah.
compared to Antarctica. Uh, oh, here we go. The highest temperature ever recorded on Antarctica was 63 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow. See, they did a good job.
Yeah. Uh, and I like this point is just great. It just says Antarctica is the coldest, windiest, and driest continent. Good story, bro.
Yeah.
Um, then it mentions there are no polar bears, and it's just a picture of two polar bears snuggling on the snow. It's really cute considering how fucking dangerous polar bears are.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, there are 7 Christian churches in Antarctica.
Jeez.
Even in one of the harshest climates in the world, people still find time to build places of worship, which are all Christian. Today, there are at least 7 Christian churches on the icy continent: Chapel of the Snows, Trinity Chapel, the Ice Cave Catholic Chapel, San Francisco de Assis Chapel, St. Ivan Rilski Chapel, Chilean Chapel of Santa Maria Reina de la Paz, and the Catholic Chapel of Santa Misa Virgen la Juan.
Yay.
It makes sense when you think about how many South American nations are very close by, therefore go there, because they're often very Catholic.
Yeah.
But you Jews need to get on that. There's not a single temple.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna go to, and we're like, yay, a wasteland. Let's go. No, that's enough. We've had enough.
Is it because you can't spend money there? You could just say it.
I mean, we have this money.
See, I think the perfect response to that would have been, sure there is. You said there's an ATM. And I'm fine. That's not okay. I'm sorry. I didn't say that. I'm sorry. But so you've learned some more about Antarctica. Although you already knew about the blood falls, which is, I guess, good in a weird kind of way that you knew that. So should we assume new identities as well?
I mean, I don't see why not, you know? Really, why not?
I did look into what it actually takes to go there, and like the wait list isn't that bad. It's like a couple years.
Yeah, you said that, and I appreciate that you think that's not a bad wait list, but the thing is, like, in a couple years, we could both decide we want to go somewhere really hot or be dead or something. So that's a while.
If you want to be dead, Antarctica seems like the place to go.
Yeah, but I'm just saying we could die before we even have a chance.
But I mean, a 2-year wait list for such a small number of jobs is really not too bad.
I guess not.
Most people get pretty tired of it pretty quickly and decide not to come back. So now the only question is, how many little adorable hats and sweaters are you going to get gigs on Etsy so that she can be toasty in Antarctica?
Is she allowed to come?
I'm not saying we would smuggle your cat into Antarctica. But I am saying there'll be room in the crate that I'm smuggling my dogs in for your cat.
Your dogs can't come because of distemper, and you could give it to the seals.
That's why I sneak them in. It's called international smuggling, Michelle.
Oh.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of room between all the bricks of black tar heroin that we also are taking in order to make this trip worth our time and money.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying gigs would look awfully cute in a little winter hat you got from Etsy that just like, it's like, oh, gigs, and gigs would just look at you like, what am I doing on this, like this desert of cold? Or do you think gigs would like it?
Well, I don't know, but she doesn't like clothes, so that would be hard.
I think she might change her tune once she's in Antarctica.
No.
Well, fine. I guess we'll have to Gigs is an indoor cat anyway. So you'll just have to wrap her in like a bunch of blankets when you have to take her outside for a second.
Yeah.
And and by a bunch of blankets, I mean like 7 or 8 blankets.
Yeah.
Of varying thicknesses.
Well, I could also like put her like in some sort of pouch, but like under my clothes.
Yeah.
That's probably the thing to do. She'd probably like freak out for a little while, but then be like really cozy. So
that way, when you're talking to people and trying to make them not know you're smuggling a cat, that'll be when Gigs just puts her claws like right into your skin. Welcome to Antarctica. Thank you. Thank you. Ow, 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 ow. And it would help you establish what you really wanted, which is people would leave you alone when they heard you whispering things to yourself, in your suit. Just and people will be like, I'm not gonna invite her to lunch. I think I'm gonna eat lunch by myself.
Yeah. Good times.